Srini, we are on live.
Hello, greetings everybody. This is Srini Tonta from Detroit, Michigan. Welcome again to another great session in the world of LetUsTalkIt. So LetUsTalkIt offers webinars throughout the week, except on Monday, I guess. So we have great sessions on work and life. And we also have a youth series that are going every week. So we have two youth groups that present every week. So they do the preparation on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time and 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And then they go live typically on Saturday at 4 p.m. EST and on Fridays at 8 p.m. EST. So LetUsTalkIt is about creating an informed and empowered community. And we thank all the wonderful speakers and the audience who are encouraging them with your active participation on the social media. Today, we have a great speaker with us, Dr. Kyle Padmanandam, I'm sorry. So Dr. Kyle Padmanandam has a lot of experience in the domain of computer science with wide exposure through teaching, research, and in the industry. So she's passionate about research and specialized in data science and machine learning algorithms, in which she pursued her doctoral research as well. She has several publications related to machine learning applications, and also she is appointed as a distinguished speaker of the computing community by Association of Computing Machinery, ACM. So she is currently working as an associate professor in the Department of Information Technology, BVRITH College of Engineering, Hyderabad. And her expertise is in object-oriented paradigms and research-oriented software like MATLAB, R, and Python. So she's also serving as a reviewer in IEEE conference and reputed journals. And also she's a recipient of Best Women Faculty and Best Researcher and Young Scientist Awards from various authorities, Board of Tamil Nadu, India. She has been awarded PhD in computer science and holds an MTech and MSc degree in computer and information technology with distinction. So we are really privileged, Dr. P. Kyle, to have you today in the session. And then we are looking forward to listen to this great session about intelligent data convergence. So with that, humble introduction, which is probably 50% of or less of what you have done, it is all over to you.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your introduction. Thank you, Srini. And before I start my session, I would like to thank this LetUsTalkIt webinar series for giving me this opportunity. So thank you so much. And thanks for the introduction as well. So I'm currently working as associate professor in BVRIT Hyderabad College of Engineering, which is situated at Hyderabad, India. So here we are working. I'm currently engaged with research works that comes under data science and machine learning applications, and mostly my research concentrates on supervised and unsupervised machine learning algorithms. So in addition to that, we are also working with the edge computing analytics, and that is all about me. So I'm thanks for the introduction. And today's talk, shall I share my screen?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So a very good day to one and all who are attending this session. So today our topic of discussion would be on intelligent data convergence. So you can understand two different things in this title. One is about the data, and the next one is about the convergence and how we are going to get the intelligent output. Okay, so that is what we are going to understand. We are going to understand various technologies that is making this intelligent data convergence possible. And we'll discuss about those technologies, a basic idea about how things are happening behind us, behind our networks. That is what we are going to discuss today. So, what are the technologies? There are so many. The very major concern I have taken for the discussion today. And here you can see these are the topic of discussion, right? So this is what the four important convergence techniques that makes that gives intelligent insights to our business, which adds value to our business. So the first and foremost is the IoT. So these are different jargons that rolls around us every day, every minute. And IoT, we all know that it is Internet of Things. And IoT is basically interconnected, interrelated devices which are interconnected in the network. And we have also moved from IoT to IoE. But to understand IoE, we need the basic understanding about what is IoT. So, Internet of Things. You have multiple devices which are all connected, which are all connected, and they can communicate with each other on the network. So that is what about IoT. And they are also capable of transferring data from one device to the another without any human intervention. So that is the highlight of Internet of Things. So we say Internet of Things, like all the devices, we call that as a things, which is on in the network. So that's why it has got the name Internet of Things. And the next technology we'll be discussing about is big data. So where the IoT devices we are using to collect data. So we acquire data using IoT devices. And we all know we have so much of devices around us in today's digital era. And these devices are capable of generating generating gigabytes of data, and even more than that in a minute or two, right? So what happens is enormous amount of data is getting generated, and how are you going to handle it? So that technology, the things behind that concept is called the big data. And once you have the device and you have collected a big amount of data, and now the query is like, how are you going to store it, where are you going to store it, how are you going to retrieve it back? So we need a storage, right? So and we can't manage with our local drive storages, so we depend on cloud based computing, where storage is enormous. So that is what the third one we'll be discussing about. And finally, when you have data, when you have device data and the storage capability, and what are you going to do with that data? So you have to bring out the knowledge, you have to apply the intelligence, and come out with the knowledge. Okay, so data should be transformed into knowledge. For that we apply our intelligence. So when all these things collide, that there you can see the convergence of technologies, and this is what we call that intelligent data convergence. So we'll discuss in detail each of the things in this session. And first, let's start with the IoT, Internet of Things. So we call that as a giant ecosystem because it is really giant. It is really a giant ecosystem. You can imagine why we say that as an ecosystem. Okay, so most of the things that we use or globally used, and even if you look around you, there will be one or two devices around you which is generating data every second. You can just take a look around you. So that is how this digital era is happening. So we call that as a giant ecosystem, and there are different characteristics for IoT. You like as we discussed, we need sensors, devices which acquire data, and you have to work with the data, you have to work with the information, and how you distribute the data, and what are the analytics you're going to perform with such large amount of data, and with that analytics what kind of decisions you will make for your business. So all these things comes under this giant ecosystem. So really to say this IoT, this technology is changing our lives. So if you imagine a life before 15 years or 20 years, our life was different. So, but now it has completely changed our lives. And to frankly to say, it has disrupted many markets in the world globally. No one can disagree with this because it has really disrupted many markets. Um, it is a creative distractor, like the creative distractor, as the term says. So, and we are now in the industry 4 era actually. So the transformation has happened already, and we are in industry 4, where industry 4 talks about the digital transformation of any kind of productions or manufacturing or any process which is looked completely digital. And a better example is like, if you take a country like as like India, we have shops, very petty shops. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about malls or anything. I'm just talking about a petty shops like 10 years or 15 years, 10 years before. There, when we buy products, we'll be given a handwritten bill, but now nowhere we are seeing such handwritten bills nowadays. Even a very small petty shops, they have a simple digital transformation has happened from that point. They have a simple lab computer, and they give digitized bill. So this is called as the digital transformation. We look everything in a digitized format, no handwritten or nothing is seen naturally. Everything is digitized actually. And when you talk about this digital transformation, it is not a day change, or it is not happened in a day or two. It has evolved. It is an evolutionary kind of change. It has evolved day by day. It has evolved, and it has taken a long time to evolve for the thing what we have today. And culturally, evolutionally, organizationally, operationally, things have changed from those format to today's format what we live today. And when you talk about this transformation, like, or disruptions, there are two types of disruptions. One is uh, like, what do you call that as, evolutionary disruptions and revolutionary disruptions. When you talk about evolutionary disruptions, as we have discussed, it will change over time. It takes time to evolve. It takes time to move on. For example, we have used mainframes, and then we moved to workstations, and we came up with desktops and laptops, and now we have all kind of gadgets in our hand, right? So this did not happen in a day or two, right? It has evolved. That's called an example of evolutionary chain transformation. And the next one is revolutionary, which happens in a day or overnight, or which happens very suddenly. A rapid change has come in. You can take this COVID-19 situation as an evolutionary change. Our life, our living style have completely changed. Suddenly, we did not expect it. Okay, and unexpected disruptions will happen. So such things are categorized as revolutionary change. And so when we talk about this industry 4, you can have a look on the different types of industry we had, industrial era we had. Industry 1, industry 2, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. And when you talk about industry 1.0, we like, our aim was to mechanize things, right? We did not have high-end models, we did not have high-end technologies at that point of time, but we tried to mechanize the job that what a human being is doing. And the only thing they could use to mechanize things was the steam engine. Okay, and later they tried to mechanize products, and later slowly the evolution was happening, and we came into industry 2, where the mechanization has mm, moved into mass productions. So they started producing things in mass, like maybe 150, like that. They started giving out the mass productions. And for that they have started using electricity. And later we moved on to industry 3, where automations has come in, like from mechanization to mass production, and from mass production to automatic automation of this production. So how to automate the production capabilities they have moved in. And for that, kind of IT, information technology has come in, and electronics also played a major role in this automation. And the fourth one is this connectivity, that is the complete connectivity what we have now. The complete smart technology has come in. We are using different types of high-end technologies in today's mass production, right? So this is the evolutionary change of business and the industry that we are living today. You can have a look of these pictures as well. And the next one is like we'll discuss few products of IoT which helps in healthcare as well. Right, there are so many products, n number of products which are being used, and few are listed here just to make you understand, not to know about the products, because we all know that these products exist in the market. So our point of discussion is what is happening behind these products, how data is getting generated, and what are we going to do with that data is our point of discussion today, right? Because all these IoT products people know, and it is available in market, and people are extensively using it. So here you are seeing a smart pillow, which which has its own sensors and signals to understand the sleep of the user, and it has an alarm inside, it has data logger, and it will also give you a sleep analysis by understanding the movements of the user. It will analyze whether you had a good sleep or whether you had a deep sleep, and understanding the motion of the user, it will identify, and it will give you an analytics. So this pillow will be connected with another device, maybe a smartphone, and it will give you the analytics of your sleep. So this is what multiple devices are connected, and inside the network, okay, multiple devices are connected in the network, and it is doing all kind of data analytics. So the what imagine the amount of data it is getting generated. Sleep, usually we sleep 8 hours, so 8 hours data every second, every nanosecond the data is getting generated. So imagine the amount of data it has collected to give that analytics for you, right? And the next one, you're seeing a headband, uh, which analyzes the brain's capacity, like capacity in sense the concentrating power of your brain. Like usually players and people, they take it as a test, like how much different types of tests, global tests, before they go for their test, they'll understand their anxiety level, they understand their concentration power, and all those analytics will be happening using such devices. And imagine the amount of data that is going to get generated, because it is capturing the human systems data, right? So human brain system data. So you have to think about the data behind it, not only about the device that we are discussing. And next you are seeing a band in a baby's leg, which is a baby monitoring device. So a parent who is at distance, this device and a parent mobile will be linked and via the internet, and this band can give us an alarm, can send a message to the connected mobile saying that your baby is awake, or the bed is wet. Okay, so all such alert messages will be sent to the mobile which is connected at the other end. So usually a parent will be connected, so such kind of alert messages can be given. And other than this, we have different healthcare devices like monitoring the glucose level, fitness, and different home appliances also we have. And the only thing is, imagine the amount of data every second your IoT device is capturing, and where it is storing, how it is storing is what we have to think about when we talk about this intelligent data convergence. And here again in education, we have some tools. We have many tools, and some are discussed here. You're seeing a scan marker pen, like this is available in market. It is an digital highlighter. This highlighter and display device, maybe your laptop or mobile, is connected via network. And when you use this highlighter while you're reading, as like how we use our highlighters, you can highlight using this pen on your textbooks or any physical paper. What happens is the content is digitized and it is shown on the display, which has editable options. It can scan, it can translate into 40 45 different languages, and it can also read aloud for you. So all these sophistications are made possible with the help of IoT technology and big data, because every data that a book has, it has to read and it has to store, and it has to transfer the data between this pen and the device that you're using. So the amount of data that is getting transferred between these two devices, you have to imagine the size of the data. It's getting transferred via the network. And we have smart boards, which is extensively used by everyone in the around the globe, and we have attendance tracking system. So all these things are in use, and here you can see gloves, right, which converts a sign language into speech. So people who have disability in speaking, they can use this glove, so that their sign language can be converted into speech. So it acts as a communicative device for such people. So all these things are into market, and all the sign languages when it is getting converted. So what kind of data has been stored, what is the intelligence applied into that gloves, so that where when a person says a sign, shows a sign, it has to be converted appropriately with the correct conversion, right, correct translation. So what is that intelligence applied behind such data? That is what we have to think about it. And this slide is though it's a very simple slide, it's my favorite thing. And like as I told you, it has this IoT and all these technologies has disrupted many of the markets. You can take a look on these products, which are really they no more exist. They are in extinction. They are in extinct actually. So many of you would have used these products. If you're not a Generation Z student, you would have Generation Z citizen. You would have used all these things. I have used maybe quite 15 years before. This is mobile 1100 Nokia mobile, which was most of our 80s 90s born first mobile would have been. So all such technology, all such devices are no more available, and you can see this before we had this digital camera, we had a film roll, and this is what you are seeing it. We'll take pictures, and this film roll has to be developed to see it as a picture. So all like we can't even imagine this today, because everything is digitized and everything is happening at your hand level. Okay, you need not go to a studio to do all such things. And you're seeing the digital diaries, um, like we used to save the numbers of friends and contact all contacts we saved here, and calculators. I'm pretty unsure how many of us go to a shop and buy calculators anymore. So of course few students are using it, but still it is still a question of the amount of usage it is in the market. And weekly planner, all such things are no more existing, because we take the help of our giant ecosystem, that is our most favorite smart mobile can do all such stuffs. So that is what it has disrupted many of the markets. So of course it is a creative distractions only. And when we think about this, it gives a nostalgic feel of like people who are 80, 90 born can understand this slide actually. And now, next, moving into the next concept, that is big data. That is what I told you. We were talking about the amount of data. So the IoT device is generating, right? So now it's a time for us to, the IoT device are capable of collecting data and transferring the data to the device. And now it is our job to collect the data and to store it, okay? And collecting the data is also a question now. So how are you going to collect? What are you going to collect? And imagine the volume. So we in big data technologies, we give priority to three characteristics actually, and those are volume, velocity, and variety. So like volume means you have to imagine the amount of data when that is getting generated in your technology, right? So the amount of data we have discussed. And the second one is the speed. Like imagine the speed, how fast your IoT devices are generating the data, right? So for to monitor 8 hours sleep, it cannot collect the data and transfer it after 30 minutes, right? So every second, every minute, it has to generate the appropriate data for that particular move. So the amount is also huge. The speed is also very at a higher rate. And the third important thing is variety. If you go live, like if you're in Facebook now, you can imagine the amount of the different varieties of data you're seeing. It can be a text, it can be a video, it can be an audio, right? It can be any unstructured format. Structured and unstructured format of data is generated. You will tweet, you will like, you will share. So all these are different types of data that your system should your technology should take care of it, right? So these are the three main V's. We call that like big data V's. Big data, three important V's, that is volume, velocity, and variety. And when you dive deep into the technology, these three are further, they are spread with a few more V's. Totally, we call that as the 8 V's. And when you talk about the other V's, that is veracity. Veracity is like the trustability of your data, how true is your data, and the value which talks about the usage of your data. Okay, the variability and value talks about the usage of your data. What is the use of collecting such huge data? So that is what. And how are you going to visualize? How are you going to do an analytics? That is called as visualization. And and viscosity talks about the existence, like how when such transactions are happening in such a faster rate, how are you going to stabilize your data capacity? How are you going to stabilize? How are you maintaining the data stability? That talks about viscosity. So all these characteristics should be focused when we are getting into big data technologies. And here you can take a look on the different types of data that we'll be working on it. The first one, the left the top left picture talks about geographic data. So the data here, here you should also think about the variety of data. So it can be, the data can be from an ocean, so it is an oceanographic data. The data can be from satellite. So the data can be some eco system monitoring data, maybe some forest monitoring system is sending you the data. So the variety of data, it is from different part of the globe, and it will be of different types. Okay, so that talks about the geographic data. And then we have event based data. So usually when you use any kind of applications, most of the things are event based. It can be a web based or channel based event. So something happens on some event. So such data also will be concentrating. And time series data, which changes over time. Like stock exchanges would be the best example. Every second there will be a change in the market, and you have to work on such time series data as well. And think about this social platforms, how they are interconnected, how Twitter, and how we are user of almost all of the social platforms. We are the user, and how these data, the social networking data, how we are going to handle it. And the technology behind that social website, like When I add a friend, it will recommend me further friends. So how this networking of data is happening, all these things has an intelligence behind it. And we have linked data also. For example, if a passport number, a person's passport number is tracked, and his bank till his bank account, his native, all the details are actually linked together. In India, we have Aadhaar card number. If that number has, and we can find his bank accounts and all other accounts which are linked to that account, we can easily track it. So these are all the linked data. So you have to imagine the complexity behind the data that we are going to work. So that complexity is what we were discussing about the different types of 8 V's. So we have to work on all 8 directions to uh, build a perfect business big data. And now coming into this convergence of intelligence, so we understood that we have huge data, really a big data. And what are you going to do that big data? You have to unbox some insights from it. So having data is of no use. Okay, so the data should be converted into knowledge. So there is some pipeline between the data and knowledge conversion, and you have to unbox such insights so that data is transferred to knowledge. How do you do that? What are you going to do that? So when you start any kind of business, like the first thing is the strategy, right? The idea behind your business or whatever it is. And once you have your idea, you will understand what kind of devices, what kind of data generation tool I can use. Okay, so we prefer IoT device for our business, how our data is getting generated. So you have to recognize what is the mode of data acquisition. Okay, so generally it happens with IoT. And next one is you have to manage and store data. So for that we have big data, but the storage point, the cloud, we did not discuss it yet, we'll be doing now. And where you're storing this data and how are you managing it, there comes the cloud computing. And once these things are fine, once your device, big data, and the storage are perfect, then we will apply our intelligence. Like we have many intelligent algorithms based on machine learning, deep learning modules, and machine learning modules which has different types of algorithms based on supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. So all such intelligent algorithms are applied to the data, and from that data we are taking we are building the decision support system, an automated decision support system. So now here you can see an architecture, a simple architecture, how the data is gathered, how the data is acquired, and how it is transformed, how it is um, represented to the user. Okay, so you have different layers here. You have 5 different layers. The first one is the physical layer, like the device, right, which is capable of collecting the data, where you fix all the sensors and signals to collect data. So that is the physical layer. So data is acquired at that end. Okay, and for once it acquires data, it has to acquire data and it has to transfer data via some communication, right? So the communication layer can be anything. You can use any of the communicative layer, like object, like you can go for Wi-Fi, you can go for Bluetooth or RFID or 4G, and any kind of communication layer you have to adopt for your device to collect and generate data and to transfer in your network. So that is your second layer, that is your communication layer. And the third one is the middleware layer. We call that as middleware layer, where once after getting your data, all this data filtering, data aggregation, all such data pre-processing things, and if data is lost, how to recover it via the network, all this recovery management and different types of event management are all handled in this part, right? So basic data filtering is required to store the data, because data storage plays a major role. Once you have a perfect data, you will get your perfect report. So all this preliminary data management process are happening, and then the final output will be stored in your distributed data storage, right? And That is how this middleware layer and database layer works hand in hand. And once the data is structured, once structured in sense categorized according to the business needs, then we'll apply the intelligence. So the different types of data analytics is applied to that data only. Okay, and when you apply that intelligence, you are getting the automized reports, you are getting the data analytics, and you're getting the knowledge. So imagine at the physical layer, it is simply data. We do not know what to do with that data, but when it comes to the application layer, when you get the analysis, when you get the report, uh, you are acquiring a knowledge. You are understanding the knowledge. What is the use of the data? What is the purpose of the data? What kind of business decisions I can make, how can I improve my business. So all these things will be helpful once the reports and analytics are perfectly made. So to get a perfect report, perfect analytics, uh, each and every step in this architecture is important. So data collection is also very very important because all this intelligent algorithm needs lots of data to understand what is happening. Okay, you cannot train your automized system with a small amount of data set. That is impossible. Sorry. And now here you have the data to intelligent pipeline. Whatever we have discussed here, you can see. Um, So I just explain with you a simple example. Like you have sensors, like sensors, as we told you, that is the point where data is getting generated, right? Data is acquired. And sensors will give you data. And from the data, we are trying to take insights. Okay. And we will not stop there. With that insight, we should do some actions, right? And actions should give you some outcome, right? This is what the business pipeline is, the from the aim to the output. So I'll explain you with an medical example. Like for example, you we go to a doctor when we are ill or anything. We want to discuss. We want a consultation with any medical practitioners. We'll go to doctor. And the first the meet a doctor will ask you all the questions regarding your illness, and you'll be giving out your data, right? So I have I'm suffering with this and that. So that is called as data acquisition. So from the point of view of the doctor, medical practitioner, that is data acquisition. And um, and his thought process will be online now. And once you are giving out all your data, what is your problem and everything, the medical practitioner's brain process, thought process is on, and it is keeping working on it. It is managing, and it will correlate what all the things you are saying. So this phase is called as descriptive analytics in business. So you describe your problem, and with that description, some analytics we will be doing, right? So that is called as descriptive analytics. And once the doctor understands this phase, he is actually a domain expert, right? He is actually a domain expert. So he will diagnose. So with all such correlations, he'll understand what is your problem. He'll also try to predict what would be your problem. Okay, and this this phase is called as your predictive analytics. This phase is called as your predictive analytics. So as a doctor, he will be predicting. And why we have gone to the doctor, we need our illness to move into wellness, right? So the doctor's job is not only to predict, he has to prescribe you something. So he'll be prescribing some medications for you for a week or a month or whatever it is. So he'll be prescribing you the medications that is required, because he has analyzed, he has predicted something. Based on that prediction, he is trying out his prescription, and we will follow that. Okay, so this phase is called as the prescriptive analytics. After prediction it will happen, this is called as your prescriptive analytics. And once this job is not yet done, because we did not come to the action. We have come up to action, but we do not know about the outcome, right? So finally we need the business value. Finally we need the outcome of our process. So the outcome is, after the prescription, after the told number of days, your illness should have now been transferred into wellness. So if that is the case, your business is a success. You have created value with your business. Okay. If not, if the prescription did not work, and it is not adding any value, and we have to reverse engineering. We have to do reverse engineering. What happened? Which part of phase has a problem? So again, we will go back and redo the process, right? So this is what the data to intelligence pipeline actually works, whether it is a doctor patient meet or it is any kind of business. After actions, we need a proper output. Okay, so for any business, the outcome is like you have to make money, you have to make your customers feel convinced, they should feel happy with your business. Okay, and any kind of things that you make, your product should be successful. Okay, you can apply any kind of things to your product, but finally the customer should be happy, and the business should also have some value, okay, in terms of money, time, or whatever it is. So this is how the this is the result that we expect in our data to intelligence pipeline. And now moving on to cloud. So cloud is it's a server which is on you cannot physically see the server, but this is available virtually, right? So it has no limits of storage. Okay, it's not like our hard disk or hard drive. So it is located all over the world, and you can use it. And there are different types of cloud service providers who gives service. Okay, so there are different types of services provided by these cloud providers. We'll discuss about that as well. And the main advantage of such cloud computing is like the different types of overhead business will meet is taken care by this cloud service providers. Okay, so operational cost cuttings will be happened using such collaborations with this cloud service partners. So there are different types of cloud services. How cloud they manage a cloud is what we will be discussing here. You're seeing like the top 10 most used cloud service providers globally, and the different types of services they offer also you can see here. Like if you I want like they provide services on different categories, like software as service, and function as service, desktop as service, and I know I want complete platform as service, or storage as service, or infrastructure as service. So these are the different types of services they offer to uh, people. Okay, so based on our business strategy, based on our business value, we will choose the service provider. Some people will say, no, I don't want platform services, I want only storage services. So there are people, they are ready to offer you storage alone. And sometimes we want complete platform services we want, so they'll maintain your complete platform on the cloud. So these are the different types of services provided, and by the different cloud service providers globally. And we have globally recognized service providers, and locally in sense based on country. Um, Okay, so which are limited to a particular country kind of service providers are also around the globe. And these services usually they are operating 24 bar 7. So that is one advantage of using such cloud management system. And they are scalable, they are reliable. Okay, and the most important, the business cost cut, operational cost cut is highly involved with opting such cloud service platforms. And moving on to this AI, when I talk about artificial intelligence, we cannot get rid of IoT as well, because AI and IoT, they are inseparable. They are always perfect together. because the main aim of artificial intelligence is to capture data. So because as I told you, artificial intelligence will apply intelligence based on huge amount of data. So to understand the problem, the artificial intelligence algorithms, they need huge amount of data. So we cannot train a system with a small data set or a mediocre data set, but we need a really huge data, right? So for such huge data, the one and only option we go for is IoT, which are capable of generating data with high volume, high velocity, and high velocity. So AI and IoT are always perfect together, and they work hand in hand. And we know how AI is being used in automotive, how it is used in agriculture, right? And like in automotive industries, we are getting the self-driven cars soon, in all in the various parts of the globe. And AI in agriculture is the most interest of people around the globe, right? Because according to UN data report, they say by 2050 we will reach 11 billion, and we'll have production demands with agriculture. So human agriculture may not be successful, may not be meeting the production, meeting the demands that we have. So we have to bring AI in agriculture. Already people are working on it and they are successful also, but it has to be improved a lot. It has to the amount of involvement of AI in agriculture should be increased. And AI in security and surveillance, it is doing a very great job. And AI in sports and analytics also, we are seeing a very good improvement, a very good involvement of AI in sports and analytics and healthcare as well. So when we do any kind of innovations based on healthcare and agriculture, it is always people's interest. Okay, so it is always going to be the interest of the people. And other than that, AI can be used in any kind of hazardous work, like you for any kind of monitoring system or any kind of alerting systems. It is always of interest of people, right? And when we have to take care of like when we talk about artificial intelligence, we should understand the data we are going to work with it. So we have so many automated tools for this data collection, data cleaning, and feature engineering is also a very very important concept when we talk about this intelligent algorithms, right? And we have automated tools for it, so we have to make ourselves pretty good with all these automated softwares. And whatever it is, when we talk about business, the trust of customer is the most very very utmost priority we have to give for that. So the data privacy part and security part that we will involve in our business should be given utmost priority. Okay, so because when we are into business, trust of our customer is the most important thing that we will be focusing on. And we all know AI is going to, it has already revolutionized and still it is doing its part, right? And need of the, like just coming to the towards the end of the discussion, need of the R innovations, you can see, as I told you, data plays a very big role in agriculture, personalized care, and untouched technology. And especially in this era, in this COVID-19 preventive measures, we have to put all our innovations for untouched technology, right? And like sometime before, we were all talking about touch technology, so everything happens with the touch. But now that touch has become a sin now, so we are moving into untouched technologies. And there are different types of innovations happening around the globe. For example, you like the University of Houston, the researchers at the University of Houston, they have come up with a wearable monitor called as draw on skin. So they draw on skin that the ink that they are using, it is capable of finding the biological components inside the human body. So the artificial intelligence has developed to such extents, like how the component in the ink can understand the biological components inside the human body. And gesture recognition system is also doing a great job. And such gesture recognitions can help in healthcare, like for example immovable people, they want something, they can, with their gesture movement we can understand what is their requirement. So all such assistive devices can also be looked with such gesture recognitions. And in agriculture we have to involve so much of robotics and sensor systems for enhanced production, to meet the enhanced production needs of agriculture. We can involve robotics and smart sensor studies. And the takeaway I would like to say is we keep forwarding messages while using WhatsApp and using Facebook or any kind of social network. We generate enormous amount of data, and the moment the when you generate data, let it be a valuable data. And for example, when you forward a fake message, what happens is you have to think it is not you only the person forwarding the message. There are thousands of people doing the same thing. So imagine the amount of data it is getting generated, the amount of network traffic it is creating. And we have to be a little bit empathetic when we generate such fake messages and when we forward such fake forwards. And that is all what I want to say. So let us respect data, as we all are computer professionals. Let us respect data because we are trying to create a value with your data, right? So let us respect the data, and we'll try to create value with the data that we have around our globe. So with this, I would like to close my discussion for today. And few of my references for this talk, you can just see through it. And thank you all for the patient listening.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Kyle. I think you really covered a lot of the aspects of the whole
Thank
in
you.
a brief presentation, but very with valuable points. So yeah, we are open to any questions that you can interact. If you are on YouTube or Facebook, yeah, feel free to leave a chat, or you can join Zoom to interact. And also, just to let you know, before the interactions, we have the almost every day the sessions on Let Us Talk It, on work life, in youth, yoga, and even we have kickstarted in regional languages as well. The first one being Telugu on Sunday evenings. Thank you all so much for your support. And tomorrow we have the webinar on personal branding on LinkedIn. And then on the as far as the youth sessions, we have this week of Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, the youth going live on being thankful, what, why, how. Also, with the significance of Thanksgiving Day in US. And on the other hand, the older youth is also working on another topic, which is about the impact of COVID and the online schooling on various aspects, including the high school grades and all. So yeah, the youth will be very delighted. If there are more mentors and more feedback and more inputs. Okay, now open for any questions. Raj and others, yeah.
Is my screen shared? Shall I stop sharing the screen?
Yeah, you can stop sharing, no problem. Yeah. So Raj, we can't hear you. I think you unmuted. Okay, I think we can hear him. Let me check if we have any other questions. There is some noise coming actually. Okay, I have a question, Dr. Kyle. So
Yeah, please.
I think there is the scope is really huge in terms of the applications that we can leverage due to all the latest trends. So do you work on any do you help the teams in any projects relating to these technologies? Like, are you want to share any experiences of some of the pilots or prototypes that are innovative in general, maybe by the students or by the community?
Yeah, we have a team of like we have different teams with the student teams and academicians. We are working on different assistive tools. So basically, we concentrate on healthcare devices, and we are working on 2, 3 assistive devices for autistic ASD disorder children, and we also work for this paralyzed people. We are working on such researchers as of now. And I personally also work with the edge computing. There is a cloud computing, that one's version of cloud computing. We academicians are researching on that, like how this edge computing and fog computing are getting helpful with the how they are applied with machine learning things. So this is all our research currently going on, and most of our students are also involved in that prototype stage. So they also give their they come up with the different ideas. They come up with very good ideas, and slowly will transform that ideas into reality. That is how we work. Our work plan is currently now.
Oh, that sounds really exciting. Definitely, we would love to catch up offline on some of those projects and how we can collaborate or synergize with the interested parties from the LetUsTalkIt community as well.
Definitely, definitely.
Hello, Dr. Kyle.
Yeah, yeah, sir. Good evening.
This is Raj.
Yeah, yeah, good evening. Yeah, hello, sir.
It was
Tell me.
it was a fantastic webinar, and enjoyed it much.
Thank you, thank you.
And not only that, you covered global bird's eye view of these technologies, but then you knocked it down to the very basic elements as to what are the building blocks. You know,
Right. Yeah.
particularly the segment on the cloud computing, many of the components I was not aware. Broadly, we know what is cloud computing, but then if you ask the guy to say the next sentence on cloud computing, a guy like me would have fallen flat. And that is the shallowness of our knowledge. But then your talk made it very, very elaborate and illustrative. And I would like to get a copy of these slides. Is it possible?
Yeah, definitely. I'll just check out with this letters
Yeah,
talk it, and that
yeah.
I'll definitely do that.
And then second, your point is about fake data. It is so relevant. You mentioned it in the
Yeah.
passing, but in a country, advanced country like America, that fake data, fake information is assuming so much of relevance right now. We
Yeah,
still have an elections, with all these digital technologies, big data, artificial intelligence. We don't have a clear-cut winner as yet. There are fake data by both parties being spread. Some people say that the highest authority of the country is the originator of the fake. These are all controversial topics. Like there are claims and counterclaims. So, there can be no better example than not generating the fake data than the current situation in America. You know?
that, that's true. That's
Eh,
true. That is like we have to work ethically. That is the one and only solution for such problems. Like,
yeah.
and as a
If you
computer,
manufacture, if you
yeah,
manufacture your data and then say that is the genuine data, what is available in the field which is being real, you decry, you deny that as being a genuine data, then there can be no resolution.
that, that's true. That's true.
And
Definitely.
that appeal you made about not generating fake data, is so relevant today, from the grassroots level to the highest level of the authorities.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
And
you so much. And thanks, the Let Us Talk It webinar. You should, I'm happy that you liked it. And of course, I want to bring it to the notice of people and also the youngsters, because we have to inculcate this thing. It cannot be taught or something, it has to be inculcated from their
yeah,
childhood. So
yeah,
let us have that practice. It's a
yeah.
best
And
practice of.
secondly, a second point you made about gesture control, you know,
Yes, yes, yes.
like for handicapped people, autistic children, they can just gesture and get things done instead of going on to the keyboard.
Correct, correct.
And we are able to see that gesture control in cars, in BMW cars,
Right.
which I saw day before yesterday. That if you want to jump from one station to the other, you put your thumb
Hmm.
towards your right hand side and move it to the right, it will go to the next station. Move
Right,
it to the
right.
left, it will go to the previous station. And then
Yes,
rotate your hand in a circular motion, the volume will go up or volume will come down. Already we are able to see those gesture control in cars.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
All those intelligence are being applied in automotive industry, and
yeah,
in healthcare also it plays a very big role. This gesture recognition.
yeah, there is phenomenal potential. And as far as the data is concerned, how we are using our water resources, for example.
Yes, yes, yes.
Like when the government owned agricultural lands are being watered, they have to be monitored how much of water is required to which plant, which
Correct,
segment of
correct.
the field, so that
Hmm.
there is an optimal use of water resources.
Correct, correct.
And even for the people consumption, there is a misplaced distribution in the water, so that the most people need it don't get it, and people who don't need it get it, and then they get wasted. You know, for
Yeah, true.
food, water everywhere. There can be a real time monitoring of the needs. And
Correct,
in a developing country like India, we cannot overemphasize the data analytics part of it.
correct, correct. And even in the agriculture, the pesticide control, we use a monitoring system for the pesticides control. Also, we like pesticides will be injected to plants only for the plants which are in need. So
Yeah.
we have different monitoring systems for that as well. So the many researchers are also going around such things.
And electricity grids, the power
Yeah, power
supply
grids,
to the
power
most
grids.
needed places, and less supply to the people that don't need it.
Yes.
We can prioritize them.
We
The
still
next,
have the problem with production and demand of electricity. Though production is well, but the demand for electricity is still high. So there is some lag between the production and the supply of electricity, where all this intelligence can be applied. It may be somewhere in the pipeline, some errors or some hazardous things are happening, which can be predicted using intelligence, so that the power generation and power supply can be um, actually given with a better option to the people of any country.
right. Thank you very much, Doctor. It is very hard to believe that you are a PhD, you are Dr. Kyle, but then the way you are talking, you come out as a neighbor, next door neighbor, conveying the
Thank you.
technology idea in a very, very user friendly term. And it is very easy to digest. And I found it very, very informative and very educative. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your likings. And I thank Let Us Talk It for giving me this opportunity as well. Thank you so
Srini,
much.
can you please send me the slide deck?
Yeah, sure. Julan would do the honors, and yeah. So thank you again, all the wonderful audience. And one more request, Dr. Kyle, you can stay back in this Zoom. After we are done with the live, we'll just chat for a few more minutes about some of the activities that Let Us Talk It is doing, and which may have some synergies with what you're doing. So you can just stay back in the Zoom. Okay. Yeah, so we are, thank you all. So we are concluding the session for now. Yeah.